Oh, getting bombarded by walnuts out here. Welcome back to the channel, friends. A couple years ago, when I had a little bit more free time than I have these days, I built this little birdhouse specifically for bluebirds out of some old barn wood that some guy gave me. He actually has a YouTube channel, Barn Geek is the guy's name. Or the guy's channel name. He had a bunch of scrap wood at one of the Pratt Family Homestead, Michigan gathering of YouTube people. Brought a whole trailer full of barn wood. Anybody wants it, you can have it. Turned it into a little birdhouse. I've been wanting to hang it up for quite a while, and I could never decide where to hang it up. I didn't really build it in a manner that can hang from a tree, so I found these cool little bracket things. This is one of our T-posts that are kind of like the property marker between our property and neighbor's property, and they just kind of slide over these T-posts like this and then just kind of lock in place. And I figured if I put my little birdhouse on here and put a couple screws in the bottom, it'll be good to go. So this is kind of how they work. The back of the T-post has those little nubs on it. Just slides on and you pick whichever nub you want and boom, locks in place. And they're supposed to hold something. People build like put 4x4s across and build like fencing out of them and all kinds of things. So kind of cool. I was so excited this spring when bluebirds to me are kind of rare. In fact, like prior to this year, I've only ever seen a bluebird that I can remember like once in my life. Kind of where we used to live, there was a creek back there and some trails. And I was doing a photography project one time walking back there and I saw a bluebird and I'm like, oh my God, those things are beautiful. Well, this spring we had a mated pair on our homestead in the trees. We'd see them all around, like every day. I'd see them like 2-3 times a day, both of them, the male and the female. And I don't remember when it was, like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I found one of them dead in our chicken coop, just laying on the ground, which birds fly into like our main coop up by our house all the time to steal chicken food. And I don't know if something happened to him or if one of the chickens got him and killed him, but it was sad. So this birdhouse is specifically designed measurement wise, hole size wise and stuff for bluebirds. So I want to provide a nice little home for them, so if they are still around or if they found a new mate, that they'll have a nice little home. And if they don't use it this year, they'll use it next year. And should be fun. So a little bit on the wiggly side. Maybe I'll come back, pound this T-post in another 3 or 4 inches, and that should be good. Hopefully, if they don't use it this year, next year, I hope. I love watching them little birds. So I'm always surprised at the number of you who are apparently flashlight junkies just like me. The last couple of months we've promoted different sales from Olight and different things that they have going on. And when I look at the numbers afterwards, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people out there who really like flashlights just like me. This month, the sale is Warrior X Turbo. And if the name sounds familiar, it's very similar to my all-time favorite, except this version is designed, its sole purpose is to shine a light very, very far. The beam pattern's small, so if you're in close quarters, you know, you're down in your basement or your attic, this is probably not the light that's going to work for you. But if you have some property and you need to see from one end to the other 900 feet, 500 feet, this light's going to do that for you. I think the sale for this month, there's two different models. There's this camouflage one and a black one. They're both on sale this month, along with a probably the tiniest flashlight I've ever seen. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, this little guy is one of their free gifts for this month. So any customer who's logged into the website and makes a qualifying purchase, you're going to get one of these little guys for free. Super tiny, not very bright, but you can hang it on your keychain and always have something with you. Even when you don't have the right tool, you at least have a tool with you. So I'm going to run, see if I can find Rachel, and we're going to get started on the bigger project for today. You guys know what kind of weed this is? It's got pickers all over it. Oh, maybe I just pull it right out. Yeah. So this is the far side of our house, which would be the north side of our house. And it is the side of our house that gets neglected the most. There's really nothing over here other than in the tree over there. I have a swarm trap set up. And that's about it. There's really not much over here for us. There's no gardens over here on this side. Just some landscaping. And things have gotten quite out of hand. Yes, what is this? Virginia creeper. Lovely. So I'm gonna work on cleaning that up today. I think Rachel's gonna come out and give me a hand. And if we have time, once we get this cleaned up, we'll put some cardboard down in the really bad areas. We'll get the tractor out. We still have a large surplus of wood chips from a garden fence project. When we were doing that project, we ended up getting a huge load of wood chips, and we still have a lot left. So we need to put something down here as a nice barrier to keep this from happening again. Yeah, I recognize this one. Maybe that comes out. You guys have pokeweed where you live? This is a small one. We have some back there that are 8 feet tall. Poisonous stuff. But yet, I think there was, people in the south would actually like boil it and boil it and boil it and like 15 times or something like that, and then they eat it. Seems odd to me to go through that much work to be able to eat a plant that's poisonous. I always have a huge list of things to do, whether it be something like this or things that are broken that need to be fixed, change the oil in the lawnmower, just like always stuff. I specifically picked this item to do today because it's close to 90 degrees in the sun, and this spot is actually in the shade, so keeps me out of the elements a bit, and yet still get to cross something off my list of things to do. Thankful for the wood chips. Some of these things just pull right out, except for the lilac. There used to be, when we moved in, there was a big lilac tree right here. It was like over half dead, and so we cut the whole thing down like this. This is lilac. So we cut the whole thing down, but apparently, I don't know if they're like rhizome based or something because the root system's still in the ground. But now we basically just have lilac stuff growing non-stop. This is probably the area that if we put wood chips down, we're gonna have to put some cardboard. Sorry about the road noise. If you guys hear cars driving by, we live on a road. Cars drive by sometimes. Tractors, motorcycles. And for some reason, it seems like every 5th car, 20%, don't have mufflers anymore. Is that like a thing now? Do people like, is it accidental or intentional that like people just don't have mufflers on cars anymore? But I was talking a couple minutes ago about like my to-do list. And it's been on my mind a lot lately because I've had like a lot of stuff to do lately. And here, let me move you in. Like a lot of stuff to do, like to the point where I think I come to the realization of the way that makes me feel when I have an overwhelming amount of stuff to do. I think it makes me feel anxiety, which is weird because I never think of anxiety. I always think of anxiety as in like someone who's like really stressed. And when I got a lot of stuff to do, it makes me feel weird. I almost feel like a little bit shaky. I'm a little bit edgy. I don't sleep well. I spend all my waking moments and all my waking hours thinking of all the things that I need to do, and it makes me feel really not well. And I've never thought of that. I've always felt that way when I'm overwhelmed like that, but I've never attributed it to that word anxiety before. So I'm wondering if that's really what it is. But, so how do I cope with that and how do I deal with that? The only thing that I found that really works for me, so if you're like me and you feel that way when you got this giant list of things that you need to do, the only thing that seems to help me other than getting things done on that list is to get that list out of my head and onto a piece of paper. I have to dump all these things that are in my head onto a piece of paper, and that alone makes me feel better for some reason. Because I think now that maybe it's now I feel like my brain is no longer responsible for keeping track of all of these things, and so it makes me feel a lot better. And then it makes me even feel even better when I get to cross that thing off of that list. So if you guys feel that way too sometimes, let me know in the comments how you guys cope. Is like making a list like the best way to deal with things, or there's some other tricks you guys have? If you do, leave them down in the comments for me. But I'm making pretty good progress on this. I feel like my tool is only effective on some things. I'm thankful for the wood chips because it's making pulling a lot of these things out a lot easier. Not as much poison ivy as I was expecting. And I'm wondering if I need a different tool going forward. Maybe if I get the lawnmower, I can do these edges. Or maybe my weed whacker or something. say hi? So I think all the cleanup work is done. I did have Rachel out here with me for a little while, but she took off. I think she went to the garden. And I know earlier I mentioned we'll get the tractor out. We'll start spreading some wood chips. But I totally forgot. Our son called us this morning. And there were some bad storms that came through our area last night around 10 o'clock. They live about 10 minutes to the east of where we are. Apparently the rain was way worse over there than it was over here because he got 4 inches of water in his garage and in the crawl space of his house last night. So they asked us to swing by today and like check on things and make sure that all the stuff that he's doing to fix it and dry things out are the right things. So no wood chips today, but I'll put it on my list of things to do. How's that? The long list. Oh, and the Olight Sale. If that was something that you're interested in, a long range, very, very long range flashlight. The sale starts at 8 p.m. on the day that this video was published, which should be July 26th. So I will have a link and all of the details down in the description for you guys. And as always, thanks for spending time with us. See ya.